What does that mean?
I'm just breathing.
Oh.
Breathing's a good thing to do every once in a while, isn't it? Yeah. Welcome to another episode of Life According to Laura. How you doing this morning, Laura?
Hungry.
You're hungry?
And thirsty.
And so what are we going to do after we finish this video?
Go to Terry's, my favorite place.
Terry's?
They have juicy hamburgers.
Yeah? What do you like to order at Terry's?
Bread, meat, and cheese.
Yeah?
And a chocolate milkshake.
Chocolate milkshake. Good deal. We'll be doing that really soon. I was thinking on the way over to your place about showing you last weekend when we were together, showing you those 2 videos that we've already done together. Remember that?
Yeah.
And tell me, what was your reaction when you saw yourself on camera like that?
Well, my voice sounded like a little child.
Really? It sounded like that?
Yeah.
That's actually really common. People go, ooh, I didn't think I looked that way, and I didn't think I sounded that way.
Yeah.
Well, how did it feel kind of inside to hear yourself answer all of those questions and visit with me?
Well, it felt good. And it made me feel like a superstar.
Did it?
Yeah.
And remember that I told you that I uploaded it to YouTube, and I also put it on Facebook. So a lot of our old friends and family acquaintances.
Except Mom. She doesn't have it.
Right, that's true.
She wants you to send it. All the videos.
Yeah. Well, I've done that.
Well, she said she hadn't received it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh,
she doesn't have it.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll promise I'll do that.
Okay.
So, remember when I read you all those comments on Facebook? What people said about it?
Yeah.
What did you think? How did it make you feel when people said those nice things about you?
Mind-blowing.
How so?
Well, I never thought they would feel that way, the same way back then, when we were kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, how did you think they might feel about you?
Forget things and, not thinking about me and stuff right away. So, I was deeply impressed.
Well, that actually leads me to something that I remember that you said back then, and it was something about you feeling like, wow, that's interesting, especially in the light of me being handicapped.
Yeah.
Did you say something like that?
I don't think so.
Something about you did mention you being handicapped. Do you remember mentioning that?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no big deal. No big deal.
I just said that anybody can make a success if they try and overcome the fears and the disbelief. And also, when you look inside yourself, you do it in a positive way, not a negative. And that makes you have good vibrations with yourself. And that's good.
That's awesome. I love that. It reminds me of that Beach Boys song. Good vibrations, right? Well,
pun.
Yeah. So today I was really hoping that you could tell us a little bit about what it's like to be you.
Well, I wake about 2 a.m. in the morning.
Really?
Because I go to bed at 7, get up at 4, take my shower, wash my hair, then turn on the TV to Justice Network, watch a little bit of that, take a shower, then turn on the Justice Network, and there's my morning.
Forensic files and stuff?
I'm interested in police stuff.
And then what do you do later in the day? Like, maybe you could tell people about Life Project.
Well, it's a learning center for handicapped people and some nonverbal people. And some of them are learning sign language through me. So that's a good thing.
When did you learn sign language?
At what's that? Not Molly's, but it's, I can't remember, but
they taught you basic words?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Do you feel like their appreciation when when you're helping people out like that? I bet.
And I take care of children at church.
So you're going to do that tomorrow morning?
And also a reader when the weather's good.
How many hours do you end up spending at church?
About 3.
And tell everybody about how you get there and back.
I go on special transit, or otherwise Capital Metro.
Uh-huh.
Access.
And you have to schedule that ahead of time? Or?
Yes, a day ahead of time.
So how do you do that?
You call them on the phone, push 1 for English, then they give you numbers, which part of the department you want, and if you do future trips, then you get to say what you want to do in the future. That can be complicated sometimes. Because sometimes I have to repeat myself when they don't understand.
And then they drop you off, and do they come back for you?
Yes.
So you schedule that too?
Uh-huh.
And that all works out?
Uh-huh.
So you do that all alone, independently?
Right.
And do you sometimes do that and go to Walmart, and you do that all alone?
I do not. I'm not allowed to do that anymore. Go to Walmart with Capital Metro. I don't know why.
Oh. But you do go to Walmart from time. Well, what's going to happen now then?
Well, I had to wait for staff to take me.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
And there may not always be a driver, so I have to wait for a driver.
Do you think that Austin does a good job helping people with special needs?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
What would you like? How would you like it to be different?
More funding, and also careful planning. And I heard that President Trump is going to cut some of the Special Olympics, and I think that's wrong.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I heard. And that ain't good.
Why don't you tell everybody where you live and how long you've lived in Austin?
I've lived first in 34 for 14 years, and sometime in 36, and now I'm on 38.
But what's the name of the organization?
South Point, Mary Lee.
So the Mary Lee Foundation, and you're at the South Point campus.
Right.
Yeah, so it's really close to downtown, right?
Yeah, and I'm living single. Fancy free.
That's good.
No more fighting over the TV or the bathroom. It's all mine.
Yeah. So that's been Mary Lee's foundation has been a pretty big blessing, right? To allow you to live independently like that? Yeah.
With some guidance if necessary. So that's also a good thing because they help you grow. Not only in the mind, but in the body too.
Remember what I said earlier, what I remembered you saying something about being handicapped. Do you consider yourself handicapped?
No, I am, quote, normal.
Yeah? Everybody
has a handicap one way or another. And it may be physical or mental or emotionally.
So handicapped is really not a label that you like to identify as.
Right, because I consider myself easy to get along with and also good. Sometimes I make people laugh with my puns.
But do you feel like you have certain struggles that you live with that you've had to overcome?
My hearing and my sight, basically, because now they're improved. But my eyes have been bothering me lately, so maybe I ought to switch medicines for it. But I have to see my eye doctor to find out.
Mm-hmm. What about emotionally?
I've grown up a lot.
Tell us about that.
Well, used to...
yeah, what it used to be like and then what it's like now.
Well, used to be, I was so insecure about things. But South Point helped me overcome that fear. And I've grown up a lot, and I do a lot more. Mm-hmm. Since I broke my hip. I began to walk again, mm-hmm. and I use a walker whenever necessary. Mm-hmm. So I think about safety first.
That's good. We all appreciate that because we want you up and walking around. Yeah. Well, you want to tell us more about that? Sort of the emotional part of things. Like, I guess, let me be specific about that. So some of us struggle more than others with our emotions, right?
Right.
And, some of us struggle with anxiety and depression.
I do.
Yeah, so...
I have manic problems, too.
So lately, I've grown so much in coping when I'm having emotional struggles. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about some techniques, like real tangible techniques that you use to cope when you're having, let's say, when you're anxious?
Well, I start with deep breathing, and then I just sit down and relax my head to my feet, slowly, inch by inch, and I become totally relaxed.
Do you do this alone?
Uh-huh. I do it anytime.
When's the last time you did that?
Yesterday.
What happened, and then what led you to do that, and then what did you do?
Well, some of the people want my sodas, and I keep telling them, no. But they keep at me, and I just really was angry with them, but I just sat down in my favorite chair and relaxed my mind and my body. Mm-hmm. And that made me feel more relaxed, more easygoing.
The breathing techniques you're talking about, I've been learning more and more about the power of the breath.
Yes.
And like what a huge connection that is to our body and to God.
Yeah. And the heart. You can feel your heart beating. You're more aware of things.
So it seems so obvious how to breathe, but it's really not. Sometimes we take that for granted. When you consciously breathe like you're talking about, describe to us what you do.
I sit down in my rocker and I start closing my eyes, rubbing like this, and thinking to myself, this is all going to work out one way or another. And just think of a positive way. Stay negative.
So some of the greatest fears that you've had, things that you've worried about, have all those things worked out?
Some. But some I still need a little coaching.
Give us a for instance.
Well, instead of not hearing the words, I listen better. I become a skilled listener. Mm-hmm. And I tend to give advice on things that people want to know about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you feel like people come to you for advice?
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of doing that right now, aren't I?
Yeah.
Huh? I mean, our audience really appreciates your wisdom and your advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So give us a for instance in like day to day how people might come to you.
Well, sometimes they beg for sodas.
Well, that's not advice, though.
And sometimes they want to know how to approach a problem, wherever they have, and I try to put myself in their shoes. And it's good to think you're someone else and realize that problem is not so bad after all.
You obviously have such a talent with children. Can you tell us a little bit about how kids might be comforted by you and might come to you for advice?
Well, the little children at church, I'm their assistant teacher. And we happen to have a hamster in there. So we discuss God through a hamster. Mm-hmm. And we consider that the hamster is part of God. And in it, we come to realize that, hey, if the hamster is doing good, we can do good, no matter what the problem is.
So you think those kids, so you had this insight about about the hamster, and you've shared that with your kids, and you think that you've helped the kids understand a little more about God through that? How'd you think of that?
I don't know, but it just came to me. I realized that the kids are like little sponges, and they need insight to make that sponge grow and absorb.
So, Laura, I've always thought that you have a really huge capacity for love.
Yeah.
Tell us about your experience with love on a day-to-day basis, and loving people, and how you view the world through this lens of love.
Well, you always try to think the positive of people, not the negative. And you help them in a way that helps yourself. And I just think that it's a wonderful thing. And you learn from children how to overcome fears and things like that.
What about people that you just come across on the streets, or like when you go to the store, or people that you live with at Mary Lee, and how you show love to them?
Well, I always, when I watch cars, I always wave to them.
Yeah.
And I say hello, how are you to people? Just small talk, and that can open a discussion. Somewhat of a discussion, so that's very important.
Do you see a correlation out there between the love that you put out there and the love that you receive?
Yeah.
How so?
Well, it feels like the more I give, the more I get. You have to give a little to get a little. And that's why it goes.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, I guess the last thing I wanted to just do is one more time give you the opportunity. Let's say for those of us that are watching this that might be struggling with love, might be struggling with their emotions, whatever you want to say, why don't you look into that camera right there and give them some of Laura's nuggets of wisdom.
You can do anything. All things are possible, and never think negative. Overcome that hump and sail right on through. Because you can do it if you try.
Awesome, Laura. Well, I love you, and we all love you, and we're really grateful for you.
Thank you. See, I always be polite, because that's how you make friends. Because if you're not polite, you don't get friends.
Right on. All right. Another Life According to Laura.
Right.
In the can.